MightyKeef. It's a new AAA release, everyone. And so, of course, like routine, like pattern, like habit, when a new AAA game comes out, there's always got to be some controversy. Let me give a little bit of context to people who are not habitually online like myself and many others. Ghost of Yotei gets announced, I think, about a year ago, right? Cool. Everyone's like, yeah, oh my God. New Ghost of Tsushima. Is it a sequel? What is it? Is it a prequel? What is it? We found out it's set 300 years after the first game. Jin is long gone. It is a new protagonist. She's female. Of course, that's going to start to stir up something. Of course, some people just wanted to play as Jin, right? And that's fair, by the way. I think that's completely fair. I would love to play a sequel with Jin in it. Realistically, it wouldn't make much sense. The Mongols, after the events of what happened in Jin Sakai's story, the Mongols came and killed everyone. They wiped out almost everyone on that island. like everyone on that island. I went to Japan actually this April. It was amazing, right? And I actually wanted to go to the island of Tsushima. It's like a little ferry you take. In April, I went to Japan, and I actually wanted to check out Tsushima, right? Because I loved Ghost of Tsushima so much. I wanted to go to the island. I couldn't, unfortunately. It was just way out of the way of the other plans and everything. But I came to find out even today, there's just not that many people. I think they have a total of like 20,000 or 30,000 people in total on the entire island. Right now, of course, that, right? Like, unfortunately, the Mongols came over there and kind of just did their thing. So the fictional character Jin would have met his end to the Mongols, right? But fast forward, a year later, earlier, Charlie Kirk was, I don't know what word I can say because I never do politics on YouTube. So I don't know what word's going to just instantly make this video demonetized or not. But Charlie Kirk, you know what happened to Charlie Kirk. All right. And then we had this individual who apparently worked at Sucker Punch say a joke said, hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. Now, if you want me to be completely honest, I don't like stuff like this. I don't. I did not like Charlie Kirk. I didn't. I did not agree with a lot of stuff he does. I have my own reasons as to why, and I didn't want to get into it. But I think you are able to dislike someone and you're able to like someone based off that, and that should be okay. People shouldn't force you to like someone or dislike somebody. But I think that making fun of somebody's passing is not really. I'm not into that. I'm not in that camp. Wishing death on somebody, et cetera, et cetera. That I just don't think that's good. You could not care, right? You could not like somebody and not really be sympathetic to what happened, but you going out of your way in like aggressively making fun of what happened is a completely different conversation, and that I don't think that's good. That's just throwing that out there. But y'all already know that. I'm very vocal on Twitter. Y'all already know. But this person made a joke about Charlie Kirk's death, and of course that ran rampant, right? Because of course he had Kirk had a big following. He was a huge political influencer, and people, obviously people who are heavily religious liked him. But it was a huge backlash, right? And so people took this and kind of latched her opinions on the gaming company's opinions, and y'all know how I am with that. Right? I made a huge Hogwarts Legacy video. I got attacked by people from the left. I got attacked by people from the right. But it was a huge. I don't even know how many views it has right now. But I made it a long time ago, which pretty much echoes the same sentiments I have right now, which is like purchasing this product does not mean you are like. It doesn't mean that you also believe the things that these people believe, whatever the person. Like, if I buy an iPhone, I don't believe in anything that Steve Jobs believes in. It just means I wanted an iPhone at that time, right? But, hey, listen, ethical purchases, that's a whole different debate. But anyways, this happened, and of course, she got fired. Sucker Punch realized, said, hey, it's not fun to make light of stuff like that. She got canned for it. So you would think, okay, well, the person who said the terrible things got fired, and now, everything's good to go. wrong. What this essentially did was open the gates for the people who wanted to make a political statement but couldn't, because you can't just go off of, oh, it's a female protagonist, I don't want to play it. You can't do that. You got to mask it as something else, right? And so what this did was create a very good opportunity for the people who weren't going to buy the game anyway to go and say now, hey, it is now unethical to buy the game because she made fun of Charlie Kirk, right? And that's kind of like the controversy that's been going on right now. I don't believe in that. I didn't believe in that when Hogwarts Legacy came out and the J.K. Rowling stuff. I didn't believe that at all, ever. And I don't believe it here, right? But that's kind of what is going on. And when that type of conversation happens, it's going to start producing a whole bunch of disingenuous side conversations about the product, right? Oh, this game is bad because it does this, because it does this, because it does this. But in reality, it's just that they don't like that the developer who was fired said something bad about Charlie Kirk. So let's go into some of the things that I deem very disingenuous. Oh, and this as well. The lead actress, right, is Antifa. And for those who don't know, it means like anti-fascist, right? Trump has recently considered that I don't even know if I can say this word on YouTube, whatever, terrorist group. Okay? Now, this was in 2020. You could make the argument it wasn't a terrorist group back then. But no, and seriously, that's obviously a joke. Seriously, they are angry at this woman as well. Now, has she herself done anything, like been in any protests or damage any buildings or doing any of that? I don't think. I have not heard of her doing anything like that. It just seems like something she said about her wife in 2020. And so people were not happy about that. All right. So now you have two things. You have the Charlie Kirk incident, and then you have her saying she's Antifa. And so anyone who is against like that political alignment now gets a chance to feel vindicated and say, okay, now you can't buy this game, right? We're going to boycott this game. We're going to boycott it. But yeah, I wanted to go down with some things that I thought were a little crazy. I noticed this was funny, right? This was funny. This person basically is said that in 2020, well, not this person right here. They're getting, they're roasting the person they quoted, right? Who's getting obliterated, by the way, absolutely obliterated. But basically said, ain't no way I'm being punked, right? No way. It's a $750 console, AAA $70 game, and you character roll in a body of water and not get wet. All right, so clearly this is just like one of those comments that's just like, okay, you're not really being genuine. Like, this doesn't matter to the global, like to the entirety of the game. This is very insignificant, right? And of course, you got people absolutely just dogpiling at this person because this wasn't a real complaint. This was a complaint to either farm engagement, or maybe this is this game is against your political views. Or console views. Remember, this is a PS5 exclusive, meaning anyone who dislikes Sony or anyone who likes another console will do everything they can to try to make this look bad, right? The console warriors, by the way. That doesn't mean like if you're just a fan of Nintendo or just a fan of Xbox, you would do something like that. I'm talking about the like radicals, right? The radicals. But thankfully, everyone's just absolutely shitting on this person. But this right here was a little strange, right? So I have no idea who this is, by the way, prior to this. And by the way, this isn't anything to like Ghost and hate or anything like that. Like, I don't know this person. But basically it said played 4 hours of Ghost of Yotei. The game is aggressively mid. You're welcome to think that, by the way. Anyone is welcome to think that. Story is all right. Nothing outstanding so far. Average revenge plot. Again, all this is valid. This is all valid. The combat wants to be a duel where you are able to strike, block, parry, can learn even more things throughout the game. You can duel katanas very early on with an option to swap between both. Yep, that's all. But the game forces you, I think they meant switch weapons, but the game forces you to switch weapons to use against which enemy, forces you which weapon to use against each enemy. Solo blade against a katana, blah, 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 blah. So this, I don't know if the person played the original Ghost of Tsushima, but this is essentially what you had to do in the first game. The first game you only played with one weapon. It was just a katana. You had your assassin blade, but you had stances, right? So you had different stances beat other stances, right? That was like the rock paper scissors. In this game, it was already told in the reveal trailer or the deep dive, whatever you want to say, that's what's going to come back. But instead of stances, it is now weapons, right? The weapons are essentially the stances, and you're getting additional weapons. So each weapon will have their own unique moveset, but they're also going to be able to beat others. Katanas lose to I don't even remember. Dual katanas, excuse me, beat spears. Spears beat regular katana, so on and so forth, right? And you have like I think 5 or 6 weapons. Okay, so this is like something that's integral to the game. That's part of the game loop. If you do not like that, then it's not the game being bad. You simply just don't like the game. Because that's part of the game, right? It would be like if I were to fire up Pokemon and you said, I'm not really a fan of being able to catch monsters, right? It's like, well, that's part of the game. You simply just don't like Pokemon, which is fine. But don't say the game is bad because of that. Pokemon's bad for other reasons. But anyways, the game was way too many gimmicks and mini games. Okay, again, this is like... that's seemingly only there to show you what your PS5 controller can do and artificially time you spend. Okay, so this, again, was in the first game, right? There was a lot of times where you'd use DualSense. And I don't understand how this is even a negative. You spent $80 for a PS5 controller, and almost no PS5 games take advantage of it. Now you have a game that actually, makes you, well, not even makes you, because you can skip all of this, by the way. You can you have a game now that allows you to engage with the $80 controller you spent, right? You can actually finally utilize the reason why it's so much money, and they're saying that's a negative. I mean, it is nowhere even near that amount of time for it to be an artificial inflate the time you spend. No, there is so much time you spend actually just doing story and combat. The mini games are very gimmicky. Excuse me, not gimmicky, but you don't spend that much time doing them. Okay, instead of feeling immersed, it's unnecessary and literal waste of time. Again, this is just, I mean, you can have this opinion, right? But this right here, these lines are just objectively wrong. Like these are just, this is not. Now this is an opinion. If you feel like if you feel like it's unnecessary, that's completely fine. But this line right here, these two are just wrong. For example, when camping in the open world, you have to start up your own fire by swiping up many times and hitting R2 and over again. Yeah, but you can also skip that, right? You don't have to do that. That's something you choose to do. So again, I don't know. This type of stuff isn't, But again, like I said, this was me explaining the disingenuous nature. Because at first, again, up until right now, I'm still like, okay, well, this is a person that's just, they just don't like the game, and that's fine. Then you go down. And you see that they say something about, there it is right there. $80 for this, a waste of time. Do not spend your money on this. Don't even buy it on sale. Just replay the original. Now, some red flags kind of come into my head because it's like most, if not all of the issues she has with the second one are already in the first game. So it's strange. It's just strange that you would say that, right? Because this also implies that you played the first game, right? Because if you didn't play the first game, why would you tell people to just play the original instead of this game? It's just not the whole thing. This just rose so many flags. And I'm gonna see if I can find it, but someone actually just linked me a video that showed her actually saying she never played the first Ghost of Tsushima. So it's strange that you're saying to play the first game and not the second, and the reasons are because of essentially the same things that are present in the first game. So you see what I mean by it seems a little disingenuous. But again, this is just one. Later on, somewhere in here, she does go off and talk about how the game is AAA slop, and so now you kind of start to break down. Okay, so it wasn't real. If you don't like Ghost of Tsushima, that's fine. Calling it AAA slop is a little. Maybe there's something else hidden in there. Okay, yeah, here it is.
Oh, I'm already dead. Great. Oh, damn. I never finished Ghost of Tsushima. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima.
So they say they didn't play Ghost of Tsushima, but they're telling other people to go replay Ghost of Tsushima. And the reason is because of the same combat structure and PlayStation controller gimmicks, which are present in the first one. So I'm like, well, then that doesn't make any sense, right? So what's the real reason why you don't like this game? But yeah, moving on. This one is also somebody just dumpstering on Grums, which is, bro, if y'all know, Grums has been sailing off of the high of him working for Blizzard 30,000 years ago. That there are still people that legitimately think this dude plays. This guy does not play video games at all. He has a game that has been in production for like 9 years, taking over $500,000 from his fans. And I have my own gripes with that, but listen, he says, what the hell is up with these grass cutting, bamboo cutting, fish cooking mini games, everything again that was present in the first game. They got tried out like some kind of proof the game is awesome, blah, 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 blah. Again, it was in the first game. I know for sure he didn't play the first game because he doesn't play games. But anyways, this guy said, tell me you didn't play nor know anything about Ghost of Tsushima while directly telling me. And yeah, he's getting absolutely dumpstered again with all that. So I just thought that was funny to highlight. But something that's not as funny is stuff like this, right? It's stuff like this. It's like, okay, this is getting like just pathetic. This guy, Generic Eric, says, bro, using PSN profiles to make a point. Little does he know the site only tracks people who are willing to be tracked on that site. What a twit. And it's Smash JT. He's saying that, he's implying that because there's a low PSN profiles of Ghost of Tsushima, that equates to obviously like low sales, right? Because he's saying not off to the best start. But then he tries to say two conversations, which is, this thing's really bad, but I also don't know if it's really bad. So if it turns out to be good, you can't really say I was wrong. Or him and a lot of people, like they do this twisting of words very often. So he essentially says not off to the best start, implying that because it has low profiles on PSN, that's very bad for them, right? They're not off to a best start in sales, right? But then he also says, for full context though, this number only represents a small percentage of actual buyers, but typically less than 1%, but when compared to the other titles, oof. So he's saying, hey, again, the whole like, this is pretty bad for you guys, but also it could not be bad for you guys. But I do think it's pretty bad, oof. But if it ends up not being bad, I told y'all that it's possible it could not be bad. These people are hilarious, man. But and then he tries to fight it and says, "Hey, I have full contacts and stuff like that." I believe he ended up getting community noted because they were like, "Yeah, buddy, this is." Well, actually, let's go to it because it God dang, this guy's timeline is crazy. Me and him had some spouts before. I do not. I don't have any ill will towards him, but I also will not be disrespected. So anytime they come after me, I will come after them. I can't find it now. So basically, I actually took a picture of it. So it says, PSN profiles focus on trophy hunters, so its statistics are based on the accounts registered on that site, not the entire PlayStation user base. PSN profiles should not be used as an indicator for sales. The total number of registered users of PSN profiles is 670,000. So like, that's it. That's the cap, 670,000. It is literal zero correlation with the actual like who has bought the game. Yeah, I don't know. That's so funny. And again, my point with this stuff is that instead of having a conversation about like the story, the characters, the combat, the environments, the pacing, stuff that's like important into the game and like a consumer's, the reasons a person would purchase it, it devolves down to like the game is bad because of the voice actress politics, or the game is bad because of that person who said something terrible. And it's like, this is not stuff that like, what is happening, bro? It's not even about the game itself anymore. And that's the part of it that I don't know, I just hate. And I've seen that happen over the past few years. Kind of the most recent thing is that Ghost of Yotei has reportedly sold over 1 million copies, selling faster than Ghost of Tsushima. This was sent out on the 3rd, 3 days ago. I want everyone to realize this is not real, right? This is not anyone from Sony. This is not anyone from Sucker Punch. This is a random Twitter user who, people say they've had information correct in the past. Again, when it comes to anything like that, no matter what, I don't ever actually listen to it. I'm only showing you this because this brought on other issues. But anyways, this person is saying this, and then it stems from this tweet where it says, hearing 1.3 million sold on the first day for Yotei, ever so slightly ahead of Tsushima. Again, this is not a person who knows if that is true or not. This isn't something that's real. But anyways, that brought in a whole bunch of other stuff when it comes to like the sales numbers and what needs to be the sales numbers and what's this and what's that. And you saw more people who are against the game kind of going and trying to already like make excuses as to, oh, well, what? It didn't sell 8 million copies, right? Like what is this guy's name? I forgot his name. It's one of those guys that Ackman destroyed in a debate a long time ago, and he's just never recovered. This guy Andy Pants. All right, he says yikes is yo gay a flop. Like he's a 45-year-old man with like 12-year-old humor. Yo gay a flop. Monster Hunter Wild sold 8 million during the same time. I don't even want to get in how horrible of comparison it is to compare a 20-year. All right, I think Monster Hunter came out in like 2005. Monster Hunter Freedom came out in 2004. Okay, so a 21-year franchise, multiplayer, that gets released on every platform outside of the Switch because the Switch will explode, right? I don't want to compare that to an exclusive of the second game in a series. Yeah, that's a console. I don't even want to get into how crazy of a comparison this is. But I'm going to roast him anyway because I was right? So when you're right, you're right. And the reason why I said that is because I said I will bet any amount of money that if Ghost of Yotei is confirmed to sell on par or more than Ghost of Tsushima, these guys will try and spin it to be a negative somehow because they know the audience they cultivated is easily manipulated. And look at that. Just right on cue, right on time. Yeah. So that is the reason why I brought that up. But recently, this guy Christopher Dring says the UK box launch, right? So physical copies of Ghost of Yotei is really, really good. It's #1, which means it beat the second week of EA Sports FC 26, and sold. I have no idea how much FC sells. I am not the biggest soccer guy. And almost sold 3 times what Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 did on Switch. I don't report on physical charts much these days, but I thought this was notable. Any comparison to Ghost of Tsushima possible? Thanks, Chris. It's down about 40%, but I still find it impressive. So, of course, the people that, again, want to spin the narrative are only going to see the 40% and say it's horrible, it's doing terrible. You got Michael, Legacy Killer HD, trying to explain that doesn't really mean anything because common sense would tell you most people get digital nowadays. It is 2025. It is completely different than 2020 when Ghost of Tsushima came out. Even then, like physical was on the decline. But physical has just been on a decline for so long, and he even brings up a chart and everything. And I mean, I'm not going to get into it. If you play video games in 2025, you should know that physical media has been on a decline. That shouldn't even have to be explained. But yeah, that it's just another way, of course, and you'll have people that definitely took this upon themselves to, as you can see. Look, he said that's a huge drop. These big double-A titles are not selling them selling much the same as they did on PS4. And he said it's not it's not really that huge. it says it's time for Sony to reveal the official numbers to silence these grifters. Yeah, again, my whole point of this video was just that the conversation is so stupid. It's so silly, man. Look, if the game is bad, if Ghost of Yotei is bad, that's completely fine. You are so, that is, I don't think anyone's going to get mad at you for not liking Ghost of Yotei. When you say things that are disingenuous, though, that sparks the conversation that someone's going to have to, like, defend or argue. Because it's like, okay, now you're just lying. If you don't like the characters because the story beats aren't great, that's completely fine. If you don't like the combat because the combat's just not for you, that's completely fine. If you don't like the open world, if you just don't like open world anymore, that's completely fine. The problem comes into play when you say things that aren't true and then claim the game is bad because of it, right? You didn't play the game, right? But you think the game is bad because these politics, because of all this and that. That's the part that gets me, and that's the stuff that I think is just so awful, right? And it's not just exclusive to this game, by the way. It has been happening in the industry for so long. I want to say the past 4 years, maybe even 5 years, is when I've really noticed it, right? And I got into it probably 3 years ago, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are just trying to hijack conversations, man, and just turn into some politics stuff. When it's like, okay, a lot of them said, hey, you know, the industry did it first, right? Kotaku and all these other industries did it first. And in my head, I'm like, bro, this is 2025. They don't run shit anymore. They haven't in a long time, right? They don't control the media. A lot of this controls the media, us, right? A lot of content creators, you just going off on Twitter. Someone could have 20 followers and make a viral tweet. You understand? Like that, like it's not one of these things where it's like IGN and Kotaku rule the whole media for gaming anymore. If IGN says something stupid, laugh at it and understand it's one studio. Who cares? That's not enough for you to be like, okay, well now let's all also start a whole disingenuous conversation about it. Like, bro, these guys, a lot of these media outlets have become laughable in like within the past half decade. So to pretend like that's the reason why you're going on some crusade to, I don't know, it just, none of it makes any sense. All of it just seems so stupid. And I really wish gaming could just get back to gaming. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't see anything about Charlie Kirk or anything in regards to Yotei's conversation because they found out there was a problem. Sucker Punch got rid of the problem. Boom. Whatever. That's done. Right? Now, getting upset at what she said, that's fine. Whatever. You can get upset about that. That's not an issue. But saying like, okay, well, this company needs to tank for something that's not even like up to the company is like kind of crazy, bro. But yeah, man, that's about it. There is a ton of other stuff. I've already let this video go on way too long. There's a ton of other examples that I have. But again, none of these people I'm throwing like hate at. I'm just giving y'all an example of like how everything has been. Reported, like, you know, it's just so silly, man. It's gotten to the point where people are making fake sale numbers in the good for Ghost of Yotei and in the negative for Ghost of Yotei. I forgot that. It was one dude. I don't know his name, but he was pretending like he knew exactly how many sales. Like somehow this random dude in Nebraska knows like the absolute sales of the game. It was one of those friends of like Rums and all of them. Like they somehow just have information to the sales that no other person has. You're not even a big influencer or anything. It's just a random guy. I'm like, bro, why in the world? What are we doing here, bro? Like, there's no conversations that really need to be had unless it's constructive, unless it's like, hey, you know, in chapter, even though it doesn't have chapters, but like in this part, I didn't like this side quest because, you know, it's too shallow and this, that, and the third. And it's like, yeah, I agree. Or no, I disagree. But when you go into the thing and saying, oh, the game's ass, and it's like you didn't even buy it, you're just saying it because of politics. Those people I think are weird, but that's all I wanted to say. All right, guys, peace up if you're new. Peace.